Hello and welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage. In this video we're working on the 68 Triumph Bonneville and we're going to be installing the Tri-Spark and getting this thing kind of timed. So let's go ahead and get started here. So on this bike, it's in 1968, they started this primary cover with a window here, but this actual primary cover does not have the pointer installed into this. So we're not going to be able to do it the traditional way from 68 going on to later years. So in the older days, before this was even available to even look inside here, we got to do it we're going to do a different route. We're going to take out this cover here and find our top dead center. Yeah. So it's actually a bolt going through. It gives you access to the crankshaft.
And then there's a notch on the crank for top dead center.
Now, some bikes didn't even have this yet. Like I think what you were saying, 66 didn't have it?
My 66 didn't have it.
So we're using a degree wheel and all that stuff in this type of timing.
Well, if we find top dead center, unless this has two notches, one for 38 degrees before, we'll find that out in a minute. There's one. Now what we got to find out is
Which one it is, if there's two?
if it's top dead center. That wasn't top dead center. This is. So there's probably two notches on here. Yep, there. It's not moving. So then what we do...
Yeah, it might even be able to see the piston right there, yeah.
So then what we got to do is we got to back it up. That's good because now we don't have to use a degree wheel. Now we put this back in here. And drops right in. And there's 38 degrees before top dead center.
Awesome. It's pretty simple.
So,
but if
38 degrees top dead center, now that's where it's supposed to fire. So that's all we really need to do.
Yeah, so here's the degree wheel. We would have had to, you want to explain that a little bit?
I would have had to put this in here. Put this on that. And put a pointer on this. And adjust it to where I had 0 on top dead center. And then back it up to 38 degrees. But we're not having to do that. If you don't have that, you got to go, then you got a different tool set up that screws into here. And
spark plug hole.
And it's got a long shaft here. This is specifically made for Triumphs. And that screws into this. This goes onto here, and this threads into the spark plug hole and has a notch. This goes onto that, and this long rod, because it angles down at an angle,
okay,
and it runs right through here like this and makes a nice straight edge.
Yeah, okay.
So, well, you loosen this and turn it. But
yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday we'll be able to use that, but right now we don't really have to. So that was kind of just the overview of how that looked. So we'll take this back off and go from there. Okay, with having 38 degrees set up there, and there's our line. And it looks like at one time, I didn't see this before, but there is a scratch mark right here.
And it lines up with that.
And yeah,
so somebody used that already for timing on with a strobe light. So we'll make sure that it's
deeper.
There we go.
Yeah. Good thing they got in the right spot. Anyway.
No, it's directly right in there.
No, I'm just saying it's a good thing they got in the right spot when they made it.
So we could use a strobe light later, and we'd watch that.
There we go. We took a red paint marker there, and we kind of highlighted that scribe mark that they gouged into the primary cover there, and marked the rotor there. So when it spins around, when we're timing it with the timing light, we should be able to pick it up right away and see it really easily this way.
The one we don't need back in.
So in this Tri-Spark kit here, the TRI-6, really nice one, and it comes with pretty much everything you need for a classic Triumph or even a Norton, because it comes with 2 different screws
And BSA. This
and
one,
BSAs.
this is the newer one that goes clockwise and anti-clockwise.
So we can use for both. Yeah, anyways, there's like the Norton takes a different bolt because it has different threads on the crankshaft or the actual camshaft thing, and then and the Triumph one, of course, has different threads as well. And some of the earlier Triumphs would end up using like a Norton one or something like that, wasn't it? Because they changed it to like 24 thread or 26 thread.
Well, yeah, that's what it boils down to. It's either 26 or it's 20A or 24. And this is 26, see? So
Yep.
it fits right in there. Then this goes into this, like that.
Oh, better look at that. Yeah, that's the rotor part. Pick up.
And Triumph Auto Advances have a little notch inside of here for location. It's up at the top right now. See it up there? See that little key in there? Well, this does not have that, but it won't go in that deep. That was so that they always were in the right spot. Well, we won't exactly know where we need that to be until we look at the book. I think it sets like this. The booklet talks about it. You get it tentatively set. Yeah, it bottoms out before we gotta have to have a washer in here.
Or we shorten the screw.
Or we shorten the screw.
Yeah, we don't want that to be loose, so we gotta check for that.
Yeah. There was a lot of room there.
All right, so in this book we have we're gonna be doing all this stuff and all the instructions in red here. So this is clockwise turning trigger rotor. So Triumph unit construction, which this is its twin. And then we have the RE Interceptor, Royal Enfield Interceptor, and 68 Norton Atlas. And then there's the green one here. Instructions talks about anti-clockwise turning trigger rotor, which has got the Norton Commando BSA unit twins and BSA unit singles and Triumph unit singles. So anyway, starting off here, just talks about making sure that you know what you got. Talking about
Line it up on the right timing mark.
yeah, we did it. We're all past that right now. We can probably do that to our wires, and then there's also talking about the screw you put in, because they're different. I was just mentioning 1/4 inch UNF, which would be fine, 24, and then 1/4 inch British stuff, fine, which would be the 26. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start here on this?
Find out where you got to set this.
Okay, so it talks about this in this picture here. We got red here on clockwise engine.
You got to put that in and mark it.
Yep.
The black magic marker.
Yeah, see right there. Yeah, it's got it's where you're centered here on your part on your engine, and then it's showing the lines here for the clockwise and counter and what is that letter? What's that AC above there? Is that an AC? There's clockwise and there's counterclockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Yeah, anti-clockwise.
We're turning clockwise.
Yes, exactly. Usually we say counterclockwise, but
Right.
yeah. But anyways, AC is a lot less letters than CCW.
They use anti-clockwise, so that looks pretty much centered up there, don't it?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then you're gonna make a mark there on the CW right there off to the
Clockwise.
side here.
That's this one over here, right?
Yep, the bottom line.
I need to get a pencil.
Okay, so he's marking that out. Once you have that marked, you're getting your black line there, and then that's when we line up our two little spots on the rotor to that line. That's what's going on there. And then on this this continued step over here, it talks about the depth, making sure that the rotor is back from the ledge that the stator unit sits on by 2 millimeters using the straight edge shown in here. So, and it comes with the straight edge. That's nice.
Okay.
But it should sit back.
Well, where do you locate this?
Yeah, like this right here. So you're going to line these two dots up with the line I was just mentioning.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Oops. I pretty much got it already, don't I?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you got to move any?
No. Let's check that out. It's kind of hard to see in this. Okay, so using the straight edge here, we'll put it right on them dots. And here's our mark right here. And the edge is just on the lower edge of the mark. So we need to move it up a little bit. There we go. Dot to dot, and then line. A little bit more. There it is, straight across. We added a washer there, and that made up the difference. And now this came in tight, so it's pulled this aluminum piece here to the cam, and it's tight. Can't rotate the washer at all, and it stands steady. So
yeah, as long as this doesn't stick out too far and doesn't rub on the back of this.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We got to make sure we are 2 millimeters away, or we're not rubbing actually there. This has to be 2 millimeters. Yeah, we're not. See, that's where that would. You see that?
Yeah, and it shows that in the book.
I can see how I can do this.
Oh, you're bending it and not touching it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they were talking about right here. Okay, so now we're to this point. We install this stator with the pillar bolts.
Now we need to get a 2 millimeter Allen wrench.
We got the pillar bolts installed here, and then we're going to work on wiring this. We want to make sure we get this all set up right. We're going to put bullets on this end, that way we can pop them into here. And then we need to power it and do all the next steps. So we're going to work on that right now. Wiring all hooked up. We got the bolts put in here, and we got these pressed into place. And then we have the coils hooked up, and so on. And we'll go over that for a minute here. And then we got extra wires that we're not going to use tied off. So, and our spark plugs are sitting where we need them at. Okay, so according to the manual here, the book that came with this Tri-Spark, it talks about how we have a positive earth. Here's the wiring diagram in it. We have to have the earth going to positive, then we have to have a jumper wire from coil 1 to 2, and then the black and white hooks into the negative on the other side. And then the yellow and black wire is going to the ignition switch. So here's our red coming in to positive. Here's our jumper wire, this black one here. It's going to go from negative to positive here on this coil. And then there's our black and white wire coming down to feed the power to the coils as well.
Yeah, this one's going, the other black wire is going to a positive. The black and white wire is going to a negative.
Yeah, right? And then, yeah, right. And then here's our black and yellow. I was just saying it's going up to our ignition.
It's going to a white wire. Because in this wiring harness, it's a white wire.
And then the other thing we have to do before we start getting power to this is we got to make sure that these spark plugs are into the wires, and they're on the aluminum here, so they'll arc. They're grounded, and you got to do this, otherwise they can short out They
can arc out a coil.
Arc out a coil. Okay. All right, we're ready to power this. We gotta.
Now it's going to tell us where we got to turn this all one direction.
Okay. Yep. Get that ready.
And I got to turn in these these pillar bolts.
Right, so step 7 here is setting the timing statically using the LED. Okay, so clockwise, we have to begin by rotating the stator unit fully clockwise in the adjustment slots. Then the LED should be on. So
What'd you do with the other pillar bolt?
that's right here.
And then we got to turn on the ignition. What size is it? I'm going to get a wrench for this first.
Okay. Okay, we're getting ready to rotate it to get the light come on, and it hit the stop on the unit here a little bit. So we want it to be in the middle. These slots right here.
When the light comes on.
In the middle of here, and just barely move it at all when the light and have the light come on. So that means that this needs to rotate a little bit more, so we can do that. So this comes with a bolt, so you can actually thread into this piece and pull it out. It's like a removal tool here.
Yeah, if you ever have to take the motor apart for whatever reason, that's what this is for. It's going to start moving any second now. Oh, there it goes. Now we're going to turn it back here a little bit.
And it says it in the instructions that if you don't quite get your center, and the reason why that's important is because when we go to actually time this with the timing light, and we have to advance it or retard it at all, we want to make sure that we have room to move instead of having it just go up against the stop and don't have any ability to adjust this piece here to get the timing to change.
Yep.
Yeah, like I was saying, like it says in the book here too, if it isn't quite centered, you should probably adjust it. So anyway, get this fixed real quick. All right, here we go. We got the pillar bolts here. It's off a little bit because we're gonna rotate it to turn the light on, but we do have it centered before we tested it here. Should be coming on any second. Or not.
Well, I thought I had it. Key off? No, now the key's on.
Oh, so you shut it off on accident. Okay.
Key. Okay, key's on.
Let's try this again. There it is. And there we are. We're right in the center of that slot.
Now we got adjustability. If you go to start it and it's off.
Right.
So
there we go. Let's tighten that up. And we should be good to go.
Yep, it's all done. Now all we're going to do is take this out, put the plug back in, put the plugs back in, and we are completely wired and ready to go.
Yeah. And this maintenance book here talks about the different crankcase flywheel locations, starting with your serial number DU 66246. That's like the start of the 68. So we got a Mark 1, a Mark 2, and a Mark 3 68. So according to this, we were talking about a little while ago how we had to use a 38 degrees top dead center thing using that pin, and we actually had one that had the hole. Well, it's correct because my number is after this DU 74052 when they made the Mark 3 change, adding the 38 degrees before top dead center. And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening in 68, different changes throughout, and this is one of the major differences throughout the entire run of 68. Because yeah, we got a Mark 1 up here, flywheel assembly, and then this one, they got something else going on here. They're locating 38 degrees before top dead center from hole A, from top dead center from hole B. So we got two different holes here, and then ours are right next to each other. So this is it right here. So we knew this was a late 68 bike. It's just that this explains why like he was saying, we don't know if we have the extra hole. Well, that explains what he was getting at. We have the extra hole.
We didn't look.
And we didn't look when we had the, you know, the top end. I mean, we could have rotated around and seen it right away, but we weren't even thinking about looking for that yet. So anyway, let's go ahead and do one more check here, and then we'll finish up this video. It's turned out really well. All right, we have the plug removed. We're going to do a final check on the Tri-Spark just to make sure things. We don't have the plugs in yet. They're just sitting here yet. So what we'll end up doing is we're going to turn the key on and rotate
the motor backward.
Yeah, the motor backwards until the light comes on.
No,
and then
back it up, and then we're going to go forward till the light goes on.
Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side and check to see how that looks over there.
If it's proper, as soon as the light goes on, by turning the wheel over and the motor going into rotation, then as soon as the light goes on, if we go to the other side, the timing marks should be right where you'd want it in the window when you time it with it running. And if we have that, it should be good to start.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, we'll turn the key on. We got to hook up the battery too.
Oh yeah.
Again.
And then
just a minute here. There it is.
Okay. So then what? Back it up.
Back it up just a little bit. Okay. Now we're gonna inch it forward. You watch the light. We're gonna inch it forward till the light just comes on. I don't know how much we backed it up.
It might be a little ways. Any second.
Should be close. I'm just going a little bit at a time because you don't want to go too far.
Right, you want it to just turn on, so.
Jeez, how much did you back it up?
I don't know, it moved a little bit. Maybe quite a bit. We'll check their side, see how far we gotta go. It should have came out maybe by now, I don't know.
There it is.
There it
Okay,
is.
now we're going to back it up a little bit. Okay, now we know where we're at now. Okay, so here we go. I just wanted to just come on. Right there. Okay, now if we go to the other side. Our timing marks should coincide.
Yeah, there we are. They're lining right up. So when we run this with a timing light later, we'll be able to see that and they'll line up.
It might be off a degree or two, but it'll be real close.
All right. Well, yeah, this is like our first Tri-Spark in a Triumph. So usually run them in our Nortons. So it's gonna be exciting. The best thing, and why I guess you're wondering why I picked Tri-Spark over anything else. The Boyer's all in my Triumphs before, but this has idle stabilization in it, and that's really a nice feature to have when you get done riding and you come to a stop sign and it doesn't die off right away and you think your carburetor needs adjusted or whatever. It's actually the ignition unit doing that, and the Tri-Spark actually kind of eliminates that. So we're going to see how it goes with this bike. Otherwise, it kind of comes to a conclusion here. So I hope you enjoyed everything in this video. Getting this Tri-Spark all together and going. And we'll finish up the segment on this Tri-Spark later when we go to actually time it with the timing light when we have it running. That'll be exciting. It's getting close. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed everything, and we will see you again soon.